Malta has 3 foods that everyone will tell you are essential: the pastry, the rabbit, the platter. I don't eat 2 of them. The pastry is the pastizz. Flaky, cheap, sold on almost every corner, eaten standing up by roughly everyone on this island except me. I have eaten exactly 1 in years, and only because I was starving and there was nothing else within reach. I am not the person to sell you a pastizz. I'm the one who walks past the window. And yet, from out here on the pavement, I've watched something happen to it. A food historian at the University of Malta, Noel Buttigieg, has run the same small survey for years, asking students to name 3 foods they consider Maltese. 15 years ago, pastizz didn't make the list. Today, they top it. The thing everyone now treats as ancient and inevitable only became the national snack in about the last decade. Nobody voted on it. Malta just quietly decided. Culture rarely asks permission. It simply keeps repeating something until everyone assumes it's always been there. I find that fascinating. I still won't eat it. But I find it fascinating. Then there's the rabbit. Stuffetal fennec. The actual national dish, slow cooked for hours in wine and garlic and tomato, and treated less like dinner and more like an occasion. I don't eat rabbit either. Something in me wrinkles its nose at the idea of eating an animal that small. But I've watched it, more times than I can count, and there's a pattern to who orders it. It's almost always the older men. The dads and the granddads. They order the fennec with a kind of reverence, and they eat it with a gusto that makes you feel like you're the one missing something. And they sort of are eating something the rest of us can't see. For a long time, rabbit wasn't simply dinner. Under the knights, hunting it was heavily restricted. Ordinary people weren't really supposed to have it. They hunted anyway. By the time those restrictions finally eased, rabbit had become more than food. It had become the taste of getting something back. Maybe that's why those older men order it the way they do. Maybe they're not thinking about 18th century Malta at all. But traditions have a habit of remembering things long after people forget why. So when a granddad orders the fennec with that particular reverence, he's not just having lunch. He's collecting on a debt that's 250 years old. I don't eat it. But I understand now why he does. Which means I've become a spectator at many of Malta's favorite meals. Watching from the pavement. Wrinkling my nose politely at the next table. Except, there is one kind of Maltese eating I don't just tolerate. I'm evangelical about it. And it took me a while to work out that it isn't really about the food at all. The first time I went to Punto, on the Slimak seafront, was in 2021, not long after it opened. I ordered mussels. The food was exquisite. The wine was delicious. The conversation was excellent. The view was superb. If you forced me to name the peak of that evening, the single best part, I couldn't do it. The only answer is everything. A couple of months ago, a friend and I were in Valletta. We work together, and we make a point of properly experiencing Malta at least once a month, not existing here, actually living here. Neither of us had ever had a proper Maltese platter, so we ordered one. She fell for the Maltese sausage. Me, I devoured the cheese made from ewe's milk. Rich, creamy, and somehow unmistakably Maltese. I've no idea how a flavor manages to become a nationality, but there it was. And then there's Fire and Fork, out by the water. A Saturday evening, a table booked for 7:30, sat outside on a patio with only a couple of other tables occupied. Cats came to visit, keeping a respectful distance, watching us the way cats do when they've decided you're acceptable but not urgent. The tagliata arrived, and it was one of the best I'd had to that point. But what made that evening wasn't only the plate. It was the water, and the cats, and the hour. Because here's the thing I kept circling back to. What actually makes these simple outings so special? I once went back to Punto alone midweek for lunch, purely because my butcher was closed and I wanted steak. It was warm enough that my phone overheated and flatly refused to work until it had cooled down, which felt like a fair review of the day. I took a table close to the water, watched the boats go by, imagined myself on one of them, and ordered the tagliata. Again. It was extraordinary. Again. Which leaves me where I usually seem to end up in Malta, standing on the pavement, watching. The food is the excuse. It isn't the pastry, which I won't eat. It isn't the rabbit, which I won't eat either. It isn't even the tagliata, extraordinary though it is. The food is the excuse. The real meal is the place. The water. The light. That particular hour when Malta finally exhales. And a piece of cheese that somehow manages to taste like an entire island. There's a lot more of Malta hiding in plain sight than most people ever stop to taste. If you want to keep noticing it with me, subscribe. This is only episode 3, and there's plenty more coming.